Welcome back, my students, to a brand new episode of Comic Class. In today's lesson, guys, we're looking at Action Comics issues 1036, 1037, and 1038. This is part 1 through 3 of the World Saga. And yeah, this is pretty highly talked about right now in modern comics, and the comics that are coming out in DC, and I can see why. This is a really good storyline so far, and yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into today's stories. Let's go. So this story basically starts off with Superman and the Authority, which I guess are a group of superheroes, and I guess Manchester Black is with them as well, and is, with the team as well. And they basically go to World, and when they get to World, they see that one of the people that I guess believed in Superman has been kind of like crucified in like some type of like futuristic military type style, and Superman basically goes to the being and sees that he is already dead, and he closes his eyes, basically giving him some respect after he died, considering that Mongol, I guess Mongol 2 or Mongol 3, I don't know which Mongol this is, has indeed killed all these people because he believed in Superman and won his help, or something like that. So Mongol basically puts a symbol of Superman on the planet to where you can see from space, and they basically go to it. And when Superman and the Authority basically land on World, they're met with a sight that's pretty gruesome for a DC comic. It's actually a superhero comic that is for kids, or is aimed at like a teenage demographic, or maybe 12 years old to 10 years old. And that's a ton of these like Superman followers basically being crucified in on like states and stuff. It's pretty like medieval looking, and it's pretty messed up. And after seeing that the Superman symbol has been like branded on their chest, of all the people that died, basically because they believed in Superman and wanted a change in World. And Superman's told this by a dude that I guess works for Mongol in like a type of like hologram message, and Superman basically lets out a tear knowing that all these people died. He wasn't able to save them before they were killed off by Mongol and his people, and his followers. So the hologram basically tells him to follow the dead, and then he'll find Mongol and his people. Eventually, Mongol arrives with a group of his, well, he doesn't arrive. Superman and the Authority basically go to some type of arena, and Mongol arrives there, and they're met with Mongol and a group of his, like, henchmen, and they basically engage in a battle with each other. And the battle's pretty cool. We get a lot of cool action scenes. Eventually, Midnighter and his boyfriend, I guess, husband, Apollo, basically gets stabbed through by one of the henchmen. And Midnighter basically loses control, tries to attack him. Manchester Black fights one of the alien members and basically gets the upper hand on him after he tries to use his like psychic abilities or something like that. And threatens Manchester Black, where Manchester Black basically just uses a regular bat and is able to attack the alien and defeat him. I'm not sure if he kills him or not. We also get to see that Superman is fighting Mongo, and he actually hits Mongo from the sky all the way to the ground in a very powerful punch. But when Superman goes down to basically face off against Mongo, it's revealed to him that there is red suns being forged underneath World. And I'm not sure if it's exactly a red sun or it has the properties of a red sun, but it's actually making Superman weaker. And tons of people basically get killed off, or one of the members gets killed off in a battle, basically trying to save like a baby from like this giant machine. But the baby's clearly not normal, so I don't know why she tried doing that. Kind of a jobber, to be honest, in this issue. But she basically dies, and Superman gets impaled when he's attending to her, basically being there for when she dies, takes her last breath. Superman gets impaled by Mongol with a kryptonite spear, it seems. And yeah, it's a pretty brutal scene. Now, there's a group of people basically overlooking, I guess these are like aliens from different worlds, overlooking what's happening with Superman fighting against Mongol. And they basically made the decision not to interfere in fear that Mongol will try to destroy them. And the fact that he was able to defeat Superman means that none of them would have a chance in battle with Mongol and his people. So they basically just turn a blind eye, and it's revealed to us that the guy who proposed the idea for them to turn a blind eye to the situation is smiling at the end, showing that everything seems to be going to plan, and whatever plan he has built up. Going to the final issue that we have to talk about, which is issue 1038. Superman is basically put up as an example along with his other authority members, basically, and the team basically all are basically defeated, and he's made to be an example as well as his teammates. Eventually, they break out of their chains. They try to fight against the people, but Mondo basically makes quick work of the authority. It's a pretty awesome scene. Eventually, Superman basically breaks out of his chains and gets one of his teammates, the one that got killed, off of it, and says that there's going to be some way that he's going to be able to find to bring her back to life. So I'm guessing that will be the end of the saga. We'll find a way to bring her back to life. They basically take the authority members that survive and try to make them into warriors for Mondo. But we know that they're going to turn against him. There's no way they're going to serve Mondo after killing one of their teammates. Eventually, Superman is put into a prison in WORLDWAR, and when he's in this prison, he basically almost gets mugged by the people when they notice that he's actually the one that they called to save them, basically. But now he's been made to be just like a man, be just the red sun, or, fake red sun, or radiation. Or artificial, I guess would be a better way to say instead of fate. So this artificial red sun radiation, there's going to have to be a way for Superman to get his powers back so that he can beat Mondo and free the people that want to be freed. But Midnighter basically comes and says that they can get out of here. But Superman basically says there's no way he's going to leave the people whenever some people actually want a change for this world and want their freedom. He's going to fight for that freedom no matter what the cost. And Midnighter basically tells him that, if he cares about their lives more than his teammates' lives, considering one of them has already died. But Superman says there's no way that he can just turn his back on a few people just because things are getting hard, and that they have to be willing to make those sacrifices to make a better life for other people. That's what makes them superheroes. And when Superman basically says, Midnighter basically walks away, and some of the prisoners along with him in the same cell overhear what he said about them, that he's not going to give up on them, basically fight and find a way to free them and beat Mondo. And the issue ends with this alien basically looking at Superman and drawing a Superman symbol in his cell, I guess on the ground. So yeah, that's really cool. I'm thinking it's the ground, maybe it's the wall, but I think it's the ground. And that's how it ends with him, I guess, saying Superman or something, or hope, I think he says. Showing the symbol of hope. But yeah, so this story pretty much starts off with Superman basically being depowered because of the red sun radiation that's on the planet of World. And we know that this isn't an actual red sun, but like an artificial red sun energy that's kind of like it. And this is depowering Superman to like a human level, so he's actually having a fight like a regular warrior on World, which is pretty cool. And the opening sequence basically shows Superman along with a ton of other warriors facing off against this giant monster, and eventually they're able to defeat it, and they basically slay it, basically. And after this is all done, they basically go and they show some of the other members of the authority that are working as warriors, basically. And I think it's Steel's daughter, if I'm correct, who has taken over, I guess, his mantle or something as the new Steel. Basically tries to get a job as, I guess, like a blacksmith, someone that makes weapons, in order to make weapons for Superman, to be able to fight in World, basically as a depowered person, and make a way for them to have victory against Mondo, I guess. I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of people probably think that Superman will get his powers back in the final part of this storyline, but we'll have to see about that. Now, Superman basically goes with other warriors from World, and basically take that monster that I guess they killed, or some monster is with them, and basically they take it to this ritual burial site, and eventually they throw off the creature to these other creatures that are living this dark abyss. They basically devour the creature there, his dead body. And while this is all going on, one of the alien species that's on World that serves as one of the priests or something like that is shown doing some type of prayer ritual, while there's symbols being read from him on some wall. And Superman, being someone that's seen a ton of different alien civilizations, is able to kind of piece together the pattern that he sees in this script of writing, and all these symbols in that and what they might mean, and he realizes that the priest isn't actually reading the stuff right, that he must be just doing it for show to make people think that he knows the language when he really doesn't. So he's basically just saying what Mondle wants him to say. So I thought that was really cool plot development. We also get to see that eventually when Superman gets back and talks to I guess Steel's daughter, he basically is given a weapon by her, and he basically tells one of the guys that he had talked to earlier in the issue about what had happened with him and his family, basically living on World and stuff like that. And he's basically like a lone survivor of his people that had came to World or were here before and have all died to either war or like the battle arenas and stuff like that. It's pretty like savage, this place. And he basically, Superman asked him to teach him how to fight like a world person would, a worlder, basically. So I thought that was really interesting. It seems like we'll get to see Superman fight more human in the next issue and have more action sequences. So that'll be really cool to see a ton of cool action panels next issue. The issue basically ends off with Midnighter basically going and trying to rescue Apollo. Apollo basically is being like kept guarded by all these alien races, and Midnighter and some alien rebels that want to get revenge on Mondle for basically killing off their people and their families and friends, basically, especially their families, basically are helping Midnighter, but they realize there's way too many numbers in Mondle's favor and with these people guarding Apollo, and it seems like it's going to be harder for him to get Apollo free, from Midnighter to get Apollo free. And the issue ends with Apollo basically being shown to, I guess, being depowered. I'm not sure exactly how Apollo's power works. I'm not really familiar with Midnighter or Apollo. I only know a little bit about them, so I don't really know how they're depowering him or keeping him in these chains. I'm pretty sure Apollo's supposed to be like super strong, like a Superman-like character. So if anyone knows that's watching this, leave a comment down below. Let me know how Apollo's powers work and why he's not just breaking out of these chains and that, if he does indeed have super strength. But Midnighter basically says that he's going to get Apollo out of here, and that's how the issue ends. And Superman fighting in the Coliseum. We get to see that there's two young kids, a brother and a sister, that are fighting in the Coliseum as well. Eventually, we get to see that Mondle arrives in the Coliseum, and these kids are basically have been brainwashed to believe in the doctrine that Mondle teaches them, basically, and his people teach them. And he gives them an ultimatum in that they want to truly be people that can be respected on this planet, that they would have to, kill each other, basically. He tells the sister to kill the brother, and when she refuses, he tells the brother to kill the sister, and he refuses, and basically Mondle says that they're useless, that they cannot be considered worthy to be on this planet, as, a respected people. And Superman basically stops Mondle from killing them, because he has basically brainwashed them into thinking that if they aren't worthy, that it's better to be dead. So he was basically going to kill these two. And when Superman basically stops Mondle, they get into a fight, and the fight's pretty interesting. You just see them basically throw hands with each other, with Mondle using this giant, hammer. Eventually, Mondle uses, a beam of energy that he shoots from his chest to basically knock Superman out. And he has them basically take Superman back to his cell or something like that. Now we get to see that Mondle's people is advisor or something, that he basically thinks is a bad idea to keep Superman alive, because he feels like something could go wrong, and that the peoples are starting to cheer his name and stuff like that, or something like that. He's basically afraid of a rebellion rising, but Mondle doesn't care. He feels like Superman is too valuable. And it's pretty cool because he says that, in order for his plan to work, and, his plan for the United Planets to work, he needs Superman alive, that he won't work with Superman dead. So that's pretty cool. Just a little hint at what Mondle's plans are in the future for Superman. Now, we get to see that the other characters basically are still dealing with the losses that they had, and the advisors, or people that work for Mondle, basically are trying to get deals made with some of these characters in order to get them to cooperate with them. So it's pretty cool. And we get to see that I forgot what their name is, but the girl, I think it's a girl, with the pink hair, basically, she is told by this alien guy that the one that you call Light Ray will live again, as long as she gives her control to this alien. I guess her technology or something like that. Maybe it's like the technology on her body. I don't know the character personally, but I'm guessing that's what it means. But yeah, so that's going on with that character, or those characters, and then we get to see that Superman basically has a discussion in his cell with these two kids, and he explains to them that they've been brainwashed by Mondo and his people, and that he actually knew the people that these kids actually came from, and that they were nothing like what Mondo was trying to push on these kids, this like mindset and philosophy. So that's really cool, and we get to see him basically give them hope. And we get to see this old man basically talk to Superman as they basically exit their cells, and they go off to try to find, I guess, a way to get Superman's powers back. And he basically explains to Superman that he feels like he's wrong for giving these kids hope, as there is no hope for them on this planet. As Superman basically tells them that he's going to make a better place for them. Basically, he's going to give them a better future. And if he has to fight for it, he's going to fight for them. So that was really cool and very Superman-like, and I really do enjoy the writing in this book so far. And yeah, so they basically head to like this area where Superman touches this stone that apparently has like some type of like unknown energy. So he thinks that the old man, I believe, thinks that Superman can use this kind of like repower himself, kind of like a yellow sun instead of the red sun. It's like an artificial red sun energy that was revealed, I think, in the first part of this story arc. So this is like type of like artificial yellow sun energy. At least that's what it seems like. And Superman and this old man, they figure out, because they hear some commotion basically happening in the area where the cells are, or maybe they even know it's the cells. And Superman in the sky, Superman figures out that they're trying to attack the cell people basically in order to get to Superman. So it's really cool, and Superman's basically racing against time to basically save these kids. And these aliens basically tell the kids as they're about to kill them that they should be pleased that Mondo basically found favor in them and looks at them special among other younglings basically on this planet. And he basically, they basically say that he wishes to see you both again, though not alive. And that's how it ends, with a teaser saying next will be Midnighter's Tale, which I guess is like a little like side plot, and ties into, because we know Midnighter was trying to free Apollo in a previous issue. So I'm guessing that's going to be the whole Midnighter freeing Apollo, and then we're going to get the climax of the World Saga with part 6. And yeah, and that's how it ends. And
it starts off with that scientist dude that was talking with Superman a few issues back. I think in the last issue they were talking to each other. He's basically giving these kids a type of like story, basically telling them some of the stuff in their past and talking about Superman to them and stuff like that. And while the guards are basically trying to demoralize the prisoners, basically the kids, as well as the old man and stuff like that, we get to see that they basically tell them that, their Man of Steel, basically their hero, their savior, basically has been defeated by the man who holds all the chains, which is Mongol. But before they can execute the old man scientist, basically Midnighter shows up and he basically starts killing the guards. And Midnighter has no qualms with killing people. It seems as he kills these guards pretty easily. And after he's done, the kids basically ask him if he's Superman. And Midnighter basically just like pukes out, puke basically, and he just like falls to the ground, basically to the lock out of him. And it seems like he's been fighting tons of these guards for a while, and this isn't like the first few guards he's been taking down and killing. So they basically go with Midnighter and they have him help them basically try to get information on Apollo, because Midnighter basically is helping them by, taking out the guards and getting them to safety, and he's doing it for himself in a way that he wants to know where Apollo's at. So they basically find the guy that has information about where Apollo's at, and we get to see that throughout the entire world, that it seems like Superman's influence is making waves around the world as people are starting to paint Superman's symbol as a sign of rebellion on World. So I think that's really cool for the story progression. We get a little story with Superman fighting Doomsday, which I don't know if this is supposed to be something that actually happened on World during the time Superman has been here, or if this is supposed to be just a story retelling the events of what happened when Superman fought Doomsday way back then in the post-crisis era. So that could be the case too, and that the old man scientist is basically talking to the kids, or at least gave them the stories of Superman's past adventures. Maybe that's the case in his past battles. But the kids basically are about to be killed by some of the guards, basically, when the kids basically tell the guards that they're not going to get out of the way, and that this is basically a trap and they should be looking out for themselves. And this is where we get to see that Midnighter shows up with some of the rebellion members that he's been able to get on his team and on his side, and he basically starts killing the guards. And they head to where Apollo's at, it seems. So after that, we get to see that the scientist basically is telling the kids about how Superman actually is from the planet that they're from, or is related to their tribe of people, which I think is really cool. And the scientist basically is interrupted by one of the kids saying that Midnighter has returned, and Midnighter basically gets fed up with the scientist basically comparing him to Superman and wanting to do what Superman would want to do. And Midnighter is basically super far from where Superman would take these things. And after we get to hear what exactly is happening with characters like OMAC and that he's with the Berserkers, basically, we get to see that the guards basically go to basically find the Notlings, the children, to basically kill them. And we get to see that Steel's daughter basically is in one of the cells wondering if they're going to kill her themselves, but OMAC basically shows that he's actually working with the enemy now. And we get to see a giant explosion happen, breaking into the prison cells, and this is where the issue ends, with Superman basically arriving with the rebellion, with Midnighter and the rest of the rebellion, to save and free the prisoners and save them from the guards' wrath, basically, and the executions that they were going to set out to do. So that's really cool, and Superman's coming to save the day once again with the help of the rebellion. And yeah, that story basically starts off with this girl, this female, I forget how you say it, it's like Phanologian or something, or Phallogian, and they're basically a distant cousin or a cousin of the people of Krypton. They were one of the tribes on Krypton, if I'm correct. And apparently this happened before the start of the World Saga, and happened, I believe, in either Superman Son of Kal-El or the Superman run before Superman Son of Kal-El basically began its run. But overall, she's basically in this capsule being tried to be kept alive by Lois and Superman, basically, or John Kent Superman. And we get to see some dialogue between the two, and we get to see that apparently John went too hard against her, and he had no idea that she wasn't an enemy, basically. So I think that's really cool, and they basically have to try to find a way to keep her alive, or basically heal her from the seizures she's having due to the damage she took, or something like that, which is kind of crazy. So Lois basically says she has an idea to how she can heal this girl, so we'll see exactly what that is later on. But going back into what's happening, we're in the World Saga Part 7, and Clark is basically fighting against the tons of the Warzoons that are on the planet World, as well as Midnighter and the rest of the rebellion fighting with Superman on his side. Eventually, the guy known as, I think, the Teacher, basically is utilizing Manchester Black's ability of illusions or something, but he can't actually make them real, so he's using this type of like monster to fight against the rebellion. And the Teacher basically tells OMAC to go fight Superman and to kill him. So Superman and OMAC basically get into a battle, and the battle is really cool. And OMAC basically tells him that he knows that his powers are getting weaker on this planet because of no yellow sun, so why fight for the people? And this is where Superman has a really cool inspirational speech about it not being easy, but you can't only do what's right when it's easy. And I thought that was really cool when he says, you only do what's right when you're stronger than your enemies. And he basically fights against OMAC and defeats him, which is really cool. OMAD basically doesn't like being defeated and he tries to blast Superman as well as some of the rebellion members with a laser blast. But Superman basically breaks off OMAD's arm, which is a really cool scene. And he basically tells him that he knows he's doing this because the teacher promised him something. And apparently he wants his like sister back or someone that he cares about back, which I thought is really cool. And Superman says that you will see her again. And he says you won't have to sell your soul to do it, which was a really cool line. And Mondol basically says that it's sold already, and Mondol shows up to basically fight against Superman. And Superman and him get into a battle, and Mondol basically tells him that he doesn't understand why he's fighting for these lesser creatures. And Superman basically tells him that he doesn't understand a damn thing. Whenever he looks around, he sees the people fighting that don't have the power and the strength that Mondol and Superman have, or the speed, or just overall abilities that they have. They're just like normal people, but they're fighting for their freedom against the War Zoons, which is crazy. So in Superman's eyes, he sees them stronger than him or Mondol because of their determination to basically survive and have a better life, which is really cool. They're fighting for their freedom. So that's really the message of this entire saga when you really look at it, is freedom and fighting for it. When you have the chance, fight for it basically, no matter what. So basically we get to see that the teacher basically is attacking all the rebellion, but Superman basically makes his way up to where the teacher's at, and he grabs one of the orphan boxes, I think is what it was called, or something. And basically it's a huge power boost and can even teleport people. So Superman basically teleports him and the rebellion away from the battle, and we get to see Mondo, which is drawn really, really well. Has a very detailed, realistic face. Basically angry that they were able to escape, especially with one of the orphan boxes. So we get to see Lois basically has went to meet up with Steel at like his base or something. And Steel basically tells her that he's been working on this new energy that they had gotten, from, I guess, one of the orphan boxes or something. That it's basically called Genesis energy, I think, or something. And it's actually re-energizing itself out of nothing, which is crazy and very futuristic. And something like this could definitely be useful in the future. That he thinks that it's even sentient itself, and not just a regular type of energy, but even alive and sentient, which is crazy. And the issue ends with them basically hearing Clark saying that's why we'll win. And there's a giant light of energy, and they're basically getting some of the feedback of what's happening with Superman holding the orphan box that he has in his possession, that he's holding. So, and that's how the issue ends, with Lois and Steel basically realizing that something is happening on World where Clark is, that wherever he's at, that something big is happening. And that's how the issue ends, ending off the World saga and going into the next part of the saga called World Revolution. And that's really cool. Like it says, next the World Revolution begins, and that's how the issue ends. And yeah, that was Action Comics issue 1042, the World Saga part 7. And overall, a very good issue, very solid. I really enjoyed the battle between Superman and Mondo. I basically like how Superman is championing freedom throughout the whole issue, and the battle with Mondo was very good and well done. And I really enjoyed that panel with Mondo looking super realistic, and Superman and his rebellion basically boom tubing basically away from the battle, even though it's a whole different type of technology than New Gods technology, I'm guessing. So yeah. But yeah, overall issue was very solid. Like I said, definitely would recommend you go check out. Link in the description down below to check it out on Amazon and Comixology. And yeah, until next video guys, God bless you. Until the next lesson, keep on reading those comments.